Something I ask myself quite frankly often is, why do some people get rich and most people never seem to even get a chance or even get remotely close to becoming rich? And part of this is because it's my job of doing this. That I tell people for a living, I help people become successful because I became successful, got to that place, and then I started helping other people. And then on top of that, I also try to figure out what are the things that I need to avoid, so then I can just stay away from those things entirely and put myself into a position where it's inevitable that I will be exactly where I want to be. And so I'm going to break down the 3 things that I found of why the people never get rich, and then some people just no issue get rich, or at least it's perceived that way that they become rich. And so the first one to start off with is, this is such a cliche answer, but it really is the mindset. And just to be fully transparent with you, this is something I probably have to put more time into than anything else. Just right now, I got off of a long flight from Miami or Puerto Rico all the way out to Cabo. And on this flight, it was kind of hard to maintain a good mindset, even just amidst this. This is something I have to consistently work on. Whereas, it's I'm traveling, being on planes, even if you fly first class, you're kind of, you're in a box, just this metal can just flying through the air and just breathing in other people's farts and, having to deal with all the inconveniences. Even when you have priority luggage and you fly first class, I still had to wait an hour for my luggage in Miami. And, it's trying to keep a good mindset regardless of what's going on and regardless of the circumstances. It takes a good amount of effort. It takes a good amount of intention to consistently make sure to have a good mindset. I even have to have consistent reminders and kind of checks with myself to make sure that I'm in the right mind state to be the person that I want to be, to align with the goals and the values that I have in the place that the direction that I'm heading. Especially because on the trip, I had to meet up with different people, and then now even as well, I'm at an event and I have to go and talk and meet with other people as well. And I need to make sure that I have a good state of mind, so then I'm, it's easier for me to flow and meet with people versus feeling forced and coming from a place of power and just who I am, instead of, me trying to force myself to be a certain way. And so that boils down to mindset and a lot of the limiting beliefs that we have. And so it's transforming, especially for me. I came from a place where I didn't necessarily have a lot growing up. I saw my parents had a lot of love to give, but it wasn't necessarily, riches or anything like that. So a lot of that I had to get comfortable with myself. And so I had to learn how to be into these upper areas where it's just nothing matters. It's not that big of a deal. And consistently letting things go. And it's a constant process of seeing a thought go into my head, or a thought that is around me that I can choose to have, and choosing not to have that thought and instead letting it go. And instead choosing the thoughts that serve me on a regular basis. And so what I have to do to make sure that happens and I have a great mindset all the time is I have to consistently try to feed myself information or data that serves me to be in the right mind state on a consistent basis. So this consists of listening to podcasts on a regular basis. This morning I listened to a church sermon so I can, consistently have that on the forefront of my thoughts. I'll read. I even read a book today, and yesterday on my flights I was listening to a book called Power versus Force, and it was just, I have to consistently listen to these stories. I have to consistently, even surrounding myself with other people, being in touch with other people that have a great mindset, so then I can make sure more and more that my default setting is in this abundant state. And it is in a constant choice. It is a constant battle that I have to choose every single day. It's like the tale of two wolves. I'm not going to go through the entire tale for you guys, but essentially we have two wolves inside of us. One's good, one's bad. We get to choose every single day which wolf that we feed. And most of us, we unconsciously are feeding the bad wolf, the one that's envy, of jealousy, of, all of these negative personality traits or these lower vibrational thought patterns. And then we have to intentionally focus this other wolf that has abundance, has love, has joy, has peace, has happiness. And we have to consistently feed the wolf that serves us in our mission that we're going on. And it is a constant battle to make sure that the right wolf is fed. It is an active choice. There's some times where it's easy when you put yourself into a state of just, there's so much abundance around you that it's just impossible to not feel that way. But at the same time, it is a constant choice. So that's why I put myself into beautiful environments, great environments. I travel often. I surround myself with good people. Anybody that kind of, leads me towards beating the bad wolf, I don't necessarily keep them out of my life, but I try to spend less time with those people. And instead, I put myself in environments that keeps me abundant and keeps me positive. So then it's easy. So then I'm not necessarily actively trying to become a person. And instead, it's just my environment consistently reminds me of the person that I want to be. And so that's why I believe in buying supercars, wearing nice clothes, consistently going and meeting awesome people, and being in environments and places that consistently remind me of places. And I will pay the extra dollar to consistently be in those places. So then I can consistently put my mind. Like, it was beautiful. I'm sitting out here watching some dolphins jump and having the time of my life. And so that brings me over to the second point of why some people get super rich and most people never do, which is the vehicle that they're in. There's a big philosophy of you don't know what you don't know. Like, if you didn't know that Starbucks makes iced coffee and you thought you can only order hot coffee, then you're in a whole world of like, wow, that's crazy. You can order hot or iced coffee. And that same exact philosophy that's applying to, not knowing that iced coffee is good, that same exact philosophy is applying to the income, like the ways that you are making money and the vehicles that are available to you. Most of us, we get trapped into, we are starting to be put towards a certain path or certain pattern or a certain direction at a very young age, and having these beliefs put onto us that we need to go to school, we need to go to college, we need to get a degree, we need to go to a prestigious college if we can, and we need to work our way up a corporate ladder. And that is the only belief that serves. Like, that is being shoved down our throats at a young age. And then anything that's outside of that is rubbish, is garbage, is a scam, is a waste of time, is a waste of life, is a wrong decision, it's failure. It's all these negative things that is associated with anything that's outside of this pathway. But what that does is that gives us tunnel vision on us only making money in one single direction in one way, not allowing us to realize that there's other alternatives out there. And it took me a lot of work to realize that there were other vehicles out there, and a lot of just letting go of thinking that anytime I see somebody that's rich at a young age, instead of thinking that they were born with it, they got lucky, or that they stole it or sold drugs, and instead allowing myself to realize that I can do that. Like, if they can do it, then there's probably a way that isn't illegal or a scam or some way of like ripping people off that you can actually go and do it. And to think that is actually possible. And as I started to go down that road and down that pathway, I started to realize there's like thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people that are able to make money in ways that aren't this normal tunnel vision pathway. And it started to become my entire world, where I started to realize that there's more ways out there of making money than what most people believe. Because if you're trading your time for money, it's going to take you a very long time to get rich. It's going to take you your entire life. That's how the system's set up. So after working for 40 years, around the age of like 60, 65, then you're able to retire and, have a nice savings and retirement fund, and then you're able to enjoy your life. But if you're going to trade your time for money, that's the only way that you're going to be able to get to that point of time freedom. But instead, if you focus on trading, the value that you provide to the world as your way of generating money, then it becomes a completely different ballgame. Now it's a matter of how effective are you, how strong are your skill sets, what value do you actually bring to people. I've had conversations where I've talked to people for 30 minutes and it's made them hundreds of thousands of dollars. And because I'm that person that's capable of being able to do that for people, it allows me to become a more valuable person. And then instead of trading my time for money, now I'm trading my time for the skill sets that I have and the person that I am and the resources that I own and the equity that I own and the brand that I built, rather than trading my time for money. So you need to find a different vehicle. The people that never get rich are people that they just stay trapped. They never look outside. They never actually get up and look around. They just stay so headstrong focused on the direction that's at hand. And like I said, it's good if you want to work your entire life and you want to work your way up the corporate ladder. But like I said, you don't know what you don't know. You don't know if there's other opportunities out there in other directions, and it's going to take you even longer to get rich. And that brings me over to my third point, which is you watch all the motivational videos. You know that there's these vehicles that are working. Now what, Devin? Why am I not rich? And it's because you're not taking action. It's because you're not doing the things to move the needle forward on a regular basis. Now, this is no sort of like you got to work 12 hours today and grind your face off type of mentality, but it's a consistency thing. It's consistently showing up and doing the thing day after day for a much longer period than what you're going to realize. And just being consistent with that and getting better at the execution and better at the action of taking the advice that I give you in these videos and taking action on it, or taking something that you hear from somebody and applying it. The difference of somebody that is, a entrepreneur and wants to be this, successful person and rich, but never gets there, versus the actual entrepreneur that goes and builds a business and gets rich and makes millions of dollars and lives this very fruitful, beautiful life, is the separating factor between these two is action and the ability to implement and apply the things that they learn and moving the needle forward in the direction that gets them closer to their goals on a regular basis, and still showing up regardless of circumstances, regardless of their financial situation, regardless of what is going on in their life, what may be going on personally or through work or through business, and consistently showing up. Most people, they'll start putting in work until it's not convenient anymore. And the people that do things until it's inconvenient are the people that never really make it too far. You have to do the things even when it is inconvenient, and you still show up regardless of the circumstances, and you keep doing the thing, and you keep putting in the work and keep taking the action. That's what separates the people that get mega rich and the people that never really do much with their life. And so that's what I have. The reason why some people get rich and most never do is because of your mindset, of believing that it's even possible, the vehicle that you have and the opportunity that you're taking advantage of, and putting yourself into a position that even has uncapped earning potential. And then third is taking action, massive action, not being afraid of failure, failing forwards instead of being afraid of failure, and learning through their failures and learning through the lessons that they get from that. So that way they can become a more effective person, have more stories, develop strong skill sets, and become an extremely effective person. So that's what I got. Make sure to drop a comment down below. What are you going to do now after watching this video? How are you going to become rich? What's something that you loved out of this video? Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Peace.